How's it hanging, dudes? My name is Sean, and welcome back to another Red Dead Redemption 2 video. And no, it's not a speculation video. So, I've been thinking, we're obviously getting really far into Red Dead Redemption 2. I'm not paying attention to views because I love this game. I want to keep playing this game, and it's going to be a good game. That's what I'm happy about, right? There's a whole bunch of news out there, but let's be honest. There's a lot of guys like Hazard and Red Bandit who have been uploading Red Dead Redemption for the past year or so. So a lot of people automatically go to their stuff for the news and stuff like that. And even if I get into the recommended, it's what, a couple 300-400 views, no big deal. What I want to do is offer something else to the community. I want to bring something new to the table. So today, we're going to launch a new series called Red Dead History. That's right, guys. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking significant areas of the game, groups, people, places, things, objects, and we're going to showcase the history because, I've been going back on PS Now and been playing PS4 Now, whatever you want to call it, and playing Red Dead Redemption. And, I've already beaten it twice again, and as I've been playing the game, it's just mind-blowing how much historical accuracy was even in that game so long ago. And then I made that Pinkerton video, and really I started going down a rabbit hole, and I uncovered a lot of information about the Pinkerton detective agency. A lot of crazy stuff, but anyways, so that's what I want to do. We're going to go ahead and start that now, so I just want to give you a brief introduction, let you know what's going on, what's happening with that, and yeah, let's get right into it, guys.
Take a look at that.
Jack, go into the house, lock all the doors. Whatever happens, don't come outside. You hear me? Whatever happens.
Okay.
Come here, son. Whatever happens, keep the doors locked and your mother inside. Promise me, son. Promise me.
Who is it, Pa?
It's just some old friends. Me and Uncle take care of it. And you go inside and you keep the doors and the windows locked.
I hear you.
Then run!
Yeah, run, boy.
Well, old man, looks like things is about to get settled once and for all.
So it seems.
So, in Red Dead Redemption, the Pinkerton National Detective Agency, their slogan is, "We never sleep." They're hyper-vigilant, and after John Marston had left Dutch Vanderland's gang, they had been previously hunted down by the Pinkerton gang. The Pinkerton National Detective Agency is a detective agency established in the United States. They play a major role in Red Dead Redemption 2 and a minor role in Red Dead Redemption, in close cooperation with law enforcement. You see, they're not actually law enforcement. They're their own thing. They're their own militia. And they go around and they enforce the law, especially in the Wild West, where it literally was a Wild West. And as the Industrial Revolution is expanding, and as steam engines are becoming more faster and better than ever, and there's so many new materials coming out, and we're using steel like never before, and we're being able to blow through mountains, and everything's becoming industrialized. We're getting electricity, and the Wild West is coming to a close. People can't, they just can't, trollop around like they used to. And the Pinkerton National Detective Agency is one of the biggest reasons for that. So if we head over to Red Dead Wiki, what I read to you guys is literally what we have. And, for the game, it has industry. They're a security contractor, which is what they are. Founded by Alan Pinkerton. Employees, Edgar Ross, 1899. But what's so interesting about all of this is that the Pinkerton National Detective Agency is still around to this day. They're still in operation. This was a real thing that Rockstar took from in real life and added into their game. I don't know if they got acceptance from the Pinkerton security group or company. I'm not sure how that was going on. Of course, it has to do with history, so they can't sue them for using their logos or anything like that. I'm not sure. I haven't done the research about that particularly. How much the group that's around today has to do with Rockstar's I guess take on their their history, right? But This is all we have in the Red Dead wiki right now. A lot of pages have been redacted just because, like it says, the article, concerns unreleased content. Some information may be incorrect, new information may be coming, right? But this is all we have. So I'm like, there's got to be more about this, right? If they're a real group and they're based in reality, and maybe they're a little embellished or maybe not a little embellished in the game, but they've had to gone somewhere. What is their history? We know that they chased Dutch Vanderlin's gang, and Dutch himself and his gang represents, a lot of people say, and it's kind of sort of not confirmed, that it's based around Jesse James and his gang. I may challenge that later on in the video, but that's, everybody kind of seems to accept that as for what it is. But yeah, where is this Pinkerton National Detective Agency if they're still around? What are they? So I just did a Google search, and literally their website popped up. It says, our history, our difference, our history. Pinkerton is a trusted partner leading the risk management and security industry for over 165 years. Throughout history, we've served as guardians and protectors of organizations around the world, defining new industry standards for risk and security management and consistently revolutionizing our industry. From our roots serving as an intelligence agency during the Civil War, Pinkerton has continued to build an impressive track record, establishing the first criminal database, being the first company to hire a female detective, and being a forerunner for the Secret Service. Discover how Pinkerton has played a historical role in the risk management industry for over a century by following our company and our accomplishments through the years in the timeline below. So let's go ahead and check out this timeline, guys, because that sounds really awesome. Like, this is a really great group, right? Like, they must have really contributed a lot to like the founding of America and the nation, and how we've gotten from the Civil War to where we're at now. That's what it seems like. I have a sneaky suspicion that their history is a little bit darker than that. But let's go ahead and see what they tout on their own website. 1842, Alan Pinkerton immigrated to the United States, settles near Chicago, and goes to work making barrels. 1847, Alan Pinkerton joins the Chicago Police Department. 1849, Alan Pinkerton is appointed as Chicago's first police detective. 1850s, the first Pinkerton office opens at 80 Washington Street, Chicago, Illinois. Pinkerton's National Detective Agency is formed, and with it, the birth of a noble profession. Wow, they're really touting up their agency, ain't they? They've just done so much for America. They really have, honestly. 1853, Pinkerton Detective Agency works with law enforcement to arrest criminals anywhere in the country, especially the Wild West. 1855, Pinkerton specializes in protecting railroad shipments for several Midwestern railways. 1861, in the hour of peril, Pinkerton uncovers and foils an assassination plot on the life of Abraham Lincoln, directing him safely through the ranks of treason to his first inauguration. 1861 through 1865. During the Civil War, Pinkerton serves as head of the Union Intelligence Service, the forerunner for the United States Secret Service. Alan Pinkerton recruits the first African-American Union intelligence agent, John Scoble. 1866, the first recorded train robbery takes place, and the Pinkerton Agency is called to locate and arrest the culprits. 1870, Alan Pinkerton and his agents become legendary during their relentless pursuit of Jesse James, the Younger Gang, the Dalton Brothers, and Butch Cassidy's Wild Bunch. The Pinkerton Agency begins the practice of clipping and filing newspaper stories for reference and investigations. Pinkerton's collection of mugshots and mythology develops the first criminal database. 1871, Pinkerton guards are hired to prevent looting after the Great Fire of Chicago. Wow, that seems awful vague, doesn't it? With the death of Alan Pinkerton, the agency is taken over by his two sons, Robert and William. Pinkerton's National Detective Agency has 2,000 active agents and 30,000 reserves, causing the state of Ohio to outlaw the agency due to the possibility of it being hired as a private army or militia. 1890, Pinkerton attacks, disbands Butch Cassidy and the Wild Bunch. 1890, that's sneakily kind of around the area timeline that Dutch is, we're getting ready to play in, right? Okay, all right. 1906, Pinkerton has 20 offices throughout the U.S. 1907, Alan Pinkerton II, grandson of the father, inherits the agency. 1930, Pinkerton II, great-grandson of Alan Pinkerton, leads the agency. 1960, corporate headquarters moves to downtown New York, making a total of 45 offices. 1968, Pinkerton armed agents are called upon to escort the priceless painting Mona Lisa, painted by the Italian artist Leonardo da Vinci, safely across the Atlantic Ocean. So on and so forth. I'm gonna go ahead and just scroll through this so you guys can kind of just get a good idea of so they're just talking really good things about themselves constantly. They've done so much great stuff. They have. But with every great thing, there's a few bumps in the road. I was like, a lot of this history seems very vague, just like little blips in the timeline of their history, which they have a long history. Well, there has to be more, right? Okay, well, Alan Pinkerton. Alan Pinkerton was born in Gorbals, Glasgow, Scotland. And he first got interested in criminal detective work while wandering through the wooded groves around Dundee looking for trees to make barrel stabs when he came across a band of counterfeiters who may have been affiliated with notorious banditti of the prairie. So you got to see, in civilized Europe at the time, in the Wild West, it wasn't that way. And the further west you go, the worse it was. And that's kind of where he got a lot of his, I guess, inklings. Now, Wikipedia is very editable, so Pinkerton Group could literally come in here, edit this, and then lock it, right? So it's really not that reliable. But I looked up to see who the CEO of the Pinkerton Group was, and today it's Kevin M. Sandcooler, BG USMC. I guess, whatever. So he's 80 relationships to the board. He's the CEO. He has no that I can find out, no actual connection to the family of Pinkerton, so they conveniently kind of leave out really what happened from it being in the family's control to now being a publicly traded company. And I think that has a lot to do with some of the scandals they've been in, so let's check that out real quick. Pinkerton became famous when he claimed to have foiled a plot to assassinate President-elect Abraham Lincoln, who later hired Pinkerton agents for his personal security during the Civil War. That started their rise to stardom. That right there. Pinkerton's agents performed services ranging from security guarding to private militia contracting work. Pinkerton was the largest private law enforcement organization in the world at the height of its time. And when you're that powerful, sometimes you tend to abuse that power. During the labor strikes of the 19th and early 20th century, businessmen hired Pinkerton agents to infiltrate unions, supply guards, keep strikers and suspected unionists out of factories, and recruit goon squads to intimidate workers. One such confrontation was the Homestead Strike of 1892, in which Pinkerton agents were called to reinforce the strike-breaking measures of industrialist Henry Clay Frick, acting on behalf of Andrew Carnegie, the famous steel worker. The ensuing battle between Pinkerton agents and striking workers led to the death of 7 Pinkerton agents and 9 steel workers. The Pinkertons were also used as guards on coal, iron, and lumber disputes in Illinois, Michigan, New York, Pennsylvania, and West Virginia, as well as the Great Railroad Strike of 1877 and the Battle of Blair Mountain in 1821. Okay, so obviously, yes, they did a lot of great work, but at the same time, you're infiltrating unions and stopping workers from getting their own pay. They're just desserts, equal pay for equal work. After his death, the agency continued to operate and soon became a major force against the labor movement developing in the U.S. and Canada. The effort changed the image of the Pinkertons for years. Now, this is technically underneath his sons. Wait. His sons are operating after his death. That's what I'm trying to say. They were involved in numerous activities against labor during the late 19th and 20th century, including the Homestead Strike, which the direct impetus of the Federal Anti-Pinkerton Act of 1893 prohibited federal governments from hiring detectives because they often abused their power for the wrong reasons. The Pullman Strike in 1894, a similar situation. The Wild Bunch Gang, we'll come back to that, 1896. And the Ludlow Massacre, 1914. The La Fayette Committee, 1837, or 33 to 37, that's a little bit later. The Ludlow Massacre is a little bit later. However, the Wild Bunch Gang, whenever John Marston went around and took out Dutch Vanderland's gang, this was right around that time frame. Now you can fudge it a few years left or right, doesn't really matter. But if you click on the Wild Bunch gang, you notice that Jesse James isn't underneath here because there was no real scandals with Jesse James. But the Wild Bunch gang, let's check the Wild Bunch gang out. The Wild Bunch gang, the Wild Bunch is also known as Doolin Dalton gang or the Oklahoma Hombres. Were a gang of American outlaws based in the Indian Territory that were active in Kansas, Missouri, Arkansas, and Oklahoma Territory during the 1890s, robbing banks and stores, holding up trains, and killing lawmen. Doesn't that sound like the group and the area they're in now, traveling towards Armadillo, right? Or, Kansas, Missouri, Arkansas, Oklahoma? That literally could give you all the areas, all the landscapes that we've seen so far, except for maybe the bayou, right? All of the outlaw gangs produced by the American Old West, the gang was formed in a late decade of the 19th century. None met a more violent end than the Wild Bunch gang. Only 2 of its 11 members survived into the 20th century, and all 11 met violent deaths in gun battles with lawmen. That's not Jesse James' story. People compare Dutch Vanderland gangs to Jesse James. I think it's more like the Wild Bunch, Doolin Dalton gang. That there's a lot of members. They all met violent deaths. They all went down one by one by one. It's kind of crazy. And look at some of their names down here: Tulsa Jack Blake, Dan Dynamite Dick. No laughing. Some people call Roy Daughtery Arkansas Tom Jones, William Marion, Bill Dalton. So I'm proposing that I think the Dutch Vanderland gang is based off the Wild Bunch. They had the most. I guess the detective agency had the most respect for this gang because they really went after them hard, and they did every single thing that this gang, that the gang that we're getting ready to play with, has done, from literally robbing banks and stores, holding up trains, and killing lawmen. Isn't that crazy? Now, I don't take this for canon. I don't know for sure. That's just speculation to me. But it's crazy to see how far these people have gone and how much of the underbelly they was causing the problems just as much as some of these Wild West guys were, right? So they were just as corrupt as Wild West guys, just trying to take advantage of easy times, really. Well, hard times, but easy times at the same time. So yeah, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section below, because there's a lot to unpack here. There might be a part 2 to this video. I don't really know. You guys gotta let me know. We're going to do more history, more Red Dead history. We're going to throw in Red Dead Revolver because there's actual historical accuracy in there too, believe it or not. There's so much stuff from Red Dead Redemption that we can piece apart. The Pinkerton group is a huge thing, so there's going to be, I can go down a whole other rabbit hole. I'm trying not to right now. It'd be an hour-long video, so we might have to break this up into 2 different videos. And I might upload that, a week or so from now. I don't know. I want to get other histories going on right now, so let me know in the comment section below what kind of Red Dead history you guys want to see. Whether that be, any historically accurate area, person, place, thing. Let me know in the comment section below, and I'm going to do some research for it, and I'm going to give you a history tutorial on Red Dead anything. So I appreciate you guys like always. Don't be that guy. Make sure you like and subscribe if you're new, and don't forget, I'm in the comment section after every single video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
To the town of Outfield rode a stranger one fine day. Hardly spoke to folks around him, didn't have too much to say. No one dared to ask his business, no one dared to make a slip.